Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome back to Copper Jacket TV. So I think most people understand that California really does lead the way when it comes to infringing on your Second Amendment rights. With over 100 gun control laws on the books right now and growing every single year, it's kind of hard to be surprised by any new laws that they drop. But this one that we're going to be talking about today actually did surprise me. This is about as outrageous as you could possibly imagine. So today we're going to be talking about a new bill that just dropped yesterday in California that is going to infringe on your Second Amendment rights even more. Let's talk about it. Okay, so let's go and talk about what's going on here. So the California legislature wasted absolutely no time introducing a whole slew of new gun control bills this year. There's probably more than a handful already, but the one that we're going to be talking about today is SB 704. Now, if you guys are watching this video and you have not yet subscribed, consider hitting that subscribe button. It's free. It only takes a second, but it really does help us out here quite a bit. Thumbs ups are appreciated. And make sure you guys comment about this down in the comment section below. So what is SB 04? Well, SB 04 has got to be one of the nuttiest things that I've seen come out of California in a long time. Everything in California is already regulated. You have to go through a background check to get ammunition. You have to go through a background check to get firearms. Everything has to go through a vendor or an FFL. I mean, they control every aspect of it. Some of the stuff that you buy has to come off of a government-approved roster, but that wasn't enough for California. Through SB 704, now they want you to go through a background check where you have to give up all your information and pay a fee and go through all the same steps that you would have to do when filling out a DROS in California just to get a simple barrel. That's it. If you want to get a barrel in California for anything, you now have to undergo a background check. Let's go ahead and take a look at this bill. Now, I shouldn't have said now you have to go through a background check. I should have said if this bill passes, then you'd have to go through a background check. But regardless, here's a look at one of the paragraphs from SB 704, where it says, commencing on July 1st, 2026, this bill would accept as specified, prohibit the sale or transfer of a firearm barrel as defined, unless the transaction is completed in person by a licensed firearms dealer. This bill would require the licensed dealer to conduct a background check of the purchaser or transferee and to record specified information pertaining to the transaction, including the date of the sale or transfer. Now, here's the list of the information that the California Department of Justice is going to want from you just to get a simple barrel. Number 1, the date of the sale or transfer. Number 2, the purchaser or transferee's driver's license or other identification number and the state in which it was issued. 3, the make and model and caliber of the firearm that the firearm barrel is designed for use in. 4, the purchaser or transferee's full name. Number 5, the name of the salesperson who processed the sale or transfer. Number 6, the purchaser or transferee's full residential address and telephone number, and the purchaser or transferee's date of birth. And that's not it. This also becomes de facto registration because all of the information that is collected is then sent to the DOJ, which is at that point searchable. So this becomes a de facto registry of just simply parts. Commencing July 1st, 2026, a licensed dealer shall electronically submit to the department the information required by Subdivision B for all sales and transfers of ownership of a barrel. The department shall retain this information in a manner established by the department. So right there it says they will retain this information. It's not something that's going to be deleted after the background check is done. Now, interestingly enough, this bill was actually first introduced back in February. And back in February, this bill had nothing to do with barrels whatsoever. It was introduced, it went to committee where it was amended by the author. All of the original language from the original bill was removed and then replaced with this new barrel language. So this was one of those gut and amends that California loves to do. Now, I'm sure you can guess who's exempt from this. That would be law enforcement, government agencies and officials, all the three-letter federal agencies. All of those people, of course, they don't have to follow this new law. Only you, the people, have to follow this law. And the thing is, this isn't going to affect the criminal. This is only going to affect the law-abiding. And you know that there's going to be a fee that's going to be established with this. They say that initially they're going to try and take this from the gross fee, but if that gross fee isn't enough to cover it, I'm sure they're going to figure out a way to take it from you. Just like the new 11% tax and everything else, it just constantly goes up in that state. So this just takes nuttiness to the next level. It's absurd to see some of the things that they are trying to do over there. It's a gun controller's utopia as it stands right now. Every law that you could possibly imagine is already implemented, but they still somehow seem to imagine laws that we could have never even possibly fathomed. And that's kind of what they're doing here. The problem is that if something like this actually does get implemented, well, like I said in the beginning, it tends to spread to other states. Other blue states will adopt a law similar to this. You'll see it happen in New York. New York loves to follow suit. And so you'll see it in New York, then maybe you'll see it in Chicago, and maybe you'll start seeing it in other places as well. It's just another way for them to keep tabs on you, keep track of you, and make sure that they know everything that you own as it pertains to the Second Amendment. So this is something that you need to speak up about, something that you need to speak out about. You need to make sure that you are calling your representatives, even if they don't want to hear from you. It doesn't matter. You have to call the person that is representative of your area and let them know that if they want to keep their job, they're not going to support stuff like this. Plain and simple. If they don't get any pushback, then they're not going to know that it exists out there. They're just getting all of that earful from Giffords and Mom's Demand, and that's pretty much all they get. That's probably who wrote this bill. Regardless, I wanted to share that with you today. I want to thank you all very much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Got another one coming on California tomorrow, a terrible ruling from another federal judge that held up one of California's gun control laws. So make sure you hit that alarm bell for when that video comes out. I want to thank you guys again. Have a good one.